Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Mika Frankl. Joining me today to talk about his upcoming fight at Bellator MMA. Calob Ramirez, sir. How you doing?
Good, very good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing well. Not as good as you are, though. It sounds like you're in a good spot. Tell me about it.
Well, to be honest, it just kind of came out of nowhere. I had just come off this last fight and it broke my hand like in the fight, and then I even broke it again in training after that. So I just kind of like just had like a little bit of a hiatus there, and so I bought a house and started fixing it up to flip it, and just finished that. So now I'm ready to go scrap next Friday.
Wow, so a busy businessman and a busy fighter. The first handbrake, it happens in the fight. Shit happens. How disappointing was the second one?
Well, I knew that I did it like right away, and I was like, God bless it. So I just, it was frustrating, but I had just come off of it, so if it being broken, so actually I broke my number one, my index metacarpal, and then I broke my middle metacarpal, like so. But the first one I had that, so it didn't move, you know. So it was just more frustrating than anything. So I was used to using one hand for a while anyway, so it was all right.
Now, were you actively to the point in your recovery and back to feeling like yourself that you were looking for a fight when you got the call for this Bellator fight? Like, did it fall into place that well?
Yeah, I was. Well, you know how it is as a fighter. Or well, as talking to everybody, and like we're always looking for another fight. Even if you're retired, you're like, fuck, maybe I should take a fight. So yeah, I was looking for one. I was looking to fight this dude Marcus McGee. Uh, he fought my buddy Ricky Maines. Savage Diamond. They fought, and as soon as I watched that fight, I was like, oh, I want to fight this dude just because he was talented and tough and all that stuff. So I wanted to fight him, and then um, they offered me a date that was a little too close for my hand, and I was like, I need some more time to let it heal. And then by the time my hand was starting to get healed, right around that same time that I was thinking about like letting them know that I could do it, uh, I got a call or an email or Instagram, something like that. Excuse me. They were like, "Hey, we got this spot open on Bellator if you're interested." And of course, I was interested, but I was like, "Hey, well, who's the opponent? Don't just throw me to the lions, and let them shred me up. I mean, because I'm good, but I'm not like the best in the world, so I don't want them to. I wanted to see who it was first, and then I said, "Yeah." So worked out great.
You take a look at the matchup, and actually, before we get to the matchup, I'm skipping it. It's Bellator. What's your
Mm-hmm.
instant reaction just seeing that one of the biggest promotions in the world is sending you an offer?
Well, I mean, this is my 20th fight, so I've definitely put in the work. Um, it feels great. It feels really good to know that people are able to see my hard work. And right now, like on Sure Dog or what, I mean, I don't know how their stats are all that great necessarily, but or how they're ranked or whatever. But I'm number one in New Mexico right now for 135. But I don't know if that's why they gave me a call because they saw, okay, this is a good opponent or what, how they decided it. I don't know. Hard work pays off, man. It's just as simple as it gets, really.
Now, when you take a look at the matchup, what gives you confidence?
Well, be honest, man, everybody's tough, right?
Right.
And when you get to this level, like every fight is going to be tough. I mean, when you got guys like McGregor and Anderson Silva, et cetera, that just like walk through people for years and years and years, yeah, that happens. But everybody's tough, man. So I expect like a good hard scrap. The matchup is great because he's got a good style that I think is good to test myself against. Got that kind of like Wonder Boy Thompson type of thing going on, mixed with like a Yoel Romero type of thing. You know, real heavy wrestler, real really good karate guy. So um, I haven't fought a karate guy yet, so that'd be a really good experience.
Have you went to get some different looks or had some guys do some things to kind of mimic a karate style in
Oh,
preparation
of
for this one?
course. Yeah, you always want to try to find somebody that can try to mimic what you're going to be standing in front of, but his style is his own, and I, you know, going to get people to do things similar, but it won't be him. So it's yeah, and Jalen, Jalen's he's a real crafty, long guy, and good at bouncing around. So he was definitely a big help with that, even though he's like 10 miles long with his reach, but still, that's kind of it's a good thing. Keeps you honest because if you make a mistake, the karate guy, like they're so far out there and so long, everything is so wound up that if you make a mistake, you could get clipped. But my confidence is because I'm a junkyard dog, man. It's like you seen me fight. I don't care about nothing. Like if we're gonna stand there and fight, like when I get hit, I don't back up. You know what I mean? Like that hits a switch with me, and I come like not more aggressively, so to speak, but it wakes me up. If anything, you know what I mean? I'm going there blindly. Like I'm like it just kind of like pops a little switch in there, and all of a sudden I'm fucking now I'm awake.
As you look at the things that you do best, your best attributes, how high up that list do you rank just that tenaciousness that you have, that dog mentality?
Well, number one, man. Like I see myself as the most grittiest fighter you'll watch because if you watch me get hit, boom, cut open, like I just like it like excites me like just like wiping the blood on my face. Yes, like it really excites me. So like it's just because that's like when everybody else gets tired, that's when I start to wake up. You know what I'm saying?
We've seen in some of your fights from the amateur days, your wrestling got tested, and then we've seen into the pro game, you were able to shore up that hole in a different way. Another high ranking attribute I would think in your list is that diligency to keep perfecting intricacies of your game that aren't where you want them to
I appreciate that because that's definitely what I did. Because before, you could take me down from anywhere. It didn't matter. It didn't matter where you were. You could take me down. So for me, my wrestling has gotten much better. I think people will be very surprised to see how well my wrestling is. I consider myself a pretty fair competitor on the ground. You know what I mean? Uh, I could roll with whoever, and I don't get tapped very often. You know what I mean? When I do, it's usually because someone is a really high level or bigger or both. In my kickboxing, I spar with some amazing and well MMA everything. I spar with some really tough dudes, and I figured if I could stand in front of Cowboy or whoever and give him a hard round, like Cowboy, he really wanted to like beat my ass, he would. You know what I mean? But even at the same time, other guys as well that come out to the ranch and train, from everywhere. And I'm not out there just getting mocked. You know what I mean? Like it's 50-50 usually. Like I said, not usually Cowboy because he's the fucking legend. He's so talented. But or Carlos Condit or whatever. But like those guys, like the little victories that matter on them are huge on others. You know what I mean?
it feels like from following you on social media, from knowing the other guys that you work with in the various different gyms, I think you've hit six, maybe seven different spots throughout this training camp? I don't want to leave any of them out, but what has that been like? So many variations of looks, being able to really, it feels like putting the label that there's no stone that you've left unturned in this preparation.
Yeah, that's about right, man. I had to go around to different places because training right now, just after all the COVID thing, like everybody's kind of dispersed from Albuquerque. Not too many people training here, super serious, you know. Um, there are a lot, but not as what it used to be in comparison, you know. So I had to go around. I've been training with Duke City, Frank Gomez over at his gym. Uh, I was with Coach Trell and Coach Yee, but things just kind of slowed down over there, so I had to find a different avenue, different place to train, and obviously always out at Cowboys at the BMF Ranch. Um, and then my buddy Freddie Sandoval, he's got a gym. I go over there and get some sparring in, and then Dark Haven, this guy's right here. It's 10th Planet here in Albuquerque. Go over there for open mat, you know, just good people. And everywhere I go right now too, it's kind of like I'm kind of setting a bar with what I'm doing. Uh, is that the old school traditional way of training is amazing, and I love that. But there's a bit of uh, something that needs to be addressed. You know, people like you have to the fighters because we're the ones sacrifice. I mean, yeah, everybody sacrifices time, coaches, whatever. But you're sacrificing your body and all this stuff, and it's like this shouldn't be. You shouldn't be shouldn't be like ostracized or like um, punished for going to train other places. Coach Trell was always really cool about that. He was like, "Hey man, you know, it's all about you guys and the fighter and stuff." And Coach Ray too, but they're just like, you know, and you know, Frank's that way. A lot of people are that way, sort of, but it's like, um, just feel like fighters need to come together these days, become more united in a way that's like, look, you're gonna go fight that guy. The stand, you know, he could be in the same gym as you. It's not always like ideal, but you guys fight each other every day. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't really see the difference. So, but I mean, it's not one of your friends. But the point is, yeah, I bounced around a lot, and I just feel like no one really gives me shit anymore because one was COVID, and two was like it's kind of like I gotta do what I gotta do to get my camp together, and that's what's important.
And you're looking to put together the best camp that you can for this fight. We know outside of fighting, as you mentioned earlier, doing some house flipping, your Mister can fix it all. And I look at you as a craftsman. So I'm wondering, as you've built houses, built all this other stuff, how do you build together the right game plan for this fight?
Uh, Studying, man, paying attention to what this guy likes to do, and just trying. Oh, you're always trying to find a hole in someone's game or whatever. But the only part is are you able to do that on game night? So for me, it's like study, pay attention. This guy is definitely tough, just like me. Of course, he has to be in, you know, on the high level, you know, getting there. And this me as well, getting to that high level. Um, you know, game plan is always to go in there and stay focused and you know, execute, you know. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing is like uh, being able to stop this guy from doing the things he wants to do. You know what I mean? Because I know he's long. He likes to use his length and his movement to immobilize people and to get them to shell up so he can take them down. He's a great wrestler, really good wrestler. But you know, I will shut that down. I will shut down his wrestling. If we do get to the ground, he's not going to want to be down there with me because I'm going to start wrapping him up. If he does land a couple of punches, that's fine. You know me, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to start waking up. But the point is, it's like on the ground, I'm very talented and I have a lot of confidence. If we do hit the ground, he's not going to want to stay there because I'm going to be putting him in submissions and making him very uncomfortable.
Fight's going to be against, I believe it's Bobby Soriano, is how we say his name.
I'm not too certain on his last name, like how to say it properly, but I think it's like Serenio or something like that.
That's very possible too, and I might have got it wrong. I was looking at it, and I was trying to think it through my head how I would say that. You might be right.
It's either way, it's close enough.
I've seen it before. You've taken wrestlers and dragged them into the deep waters and made it a brawl, made it a fight. Is that again your intentions with this one to drag him into an effort where he knows he's been in a fight? Because that's a lot of what Calob Ramirez has done to guys.
Well, I would say that that's always in my back pocket. So that's never a plan. That's just who I am. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, I'm this and that and whatever. It's like me. It's like I came from fighting people like just in school and scrapping people, right? You know, like not even in a gym. I didn't, you know what I mean? And then that's what I always go back to if shit gets dirty. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I just start scrapping. But now I have skills. So it's a clean scrap rather than just fucking swinging for the fences. So that's that for sure. That's always a plan. If you think you want to get tough and you want to buckle down and stand in the middle and swing till someone goes to sleep, we'll do that. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you ain't putting me asleep. I'm not. I got a fucking. I got a pretty hard chin, man. So, but that's not a good thing. You know, believe me. You know, it's not the best for long term. Uh, but being gritty in that moment. If this dude decides he wants to try to, you know, sling some leather, gonna have one hell of a fucking battle on his hands. So
With the broken hands, we haven't seen you in action since last July. That's a lot of time for you to be in that laboratory working on things. We've talked about already how when you diligently focused in on the wrestling, how it vastly improved. Uh, what areas of the game do you feel like have really went to a new level since that last time we saw you?
to be honest, I always want to say everything, but I would say just like it's just focusing on filling the little holes that need to be filled, timing, be more in the moment, and not being so caught up with things. So just trying to just being to be honest, was a lot of it was my focus. You know, being able to be focused in those moments of like in the middle of a firefight, being able to just like react and bob and weave and respond and just have a much better reaction time.
And we know you love this. How exciting is it personally that the injuries are behind you and you get back in there and compete again?
Oh, it's wonderful, man. I'd fight with a broken hand. I mean, I did fight with a broken hand, you know, but I don't, it doesn't matter. Like, see, that's a good thing and a bad thing about fighters. Is we're very intelligent when it comes to like overcoming situations, but we're very stupid because we will fight when we probably shouldn't. So, just because like you're gonna stay hurt longer. So, but I'm very excited to be over that shit. I've never thought about fighting in a way like I feel like, oh, I want to get paid all this money. Like, I don't give a shit about money. Like, I'll make my own money. Like, if I get paid a couple bucks to go, if I've had to pretty much. It's always cost me money as an amateur. I've never made like if you really calculate fuel and gym dues, whatever, food and this and that to be a fighter. Like, yeah, right. It's cost me. I've spent more money as being a fighter to become a fighter. Like, I could never make all that money back unless I got paid like McGregor or something. But fighters, we do this because we love it. We're like little punk rock bands. And they're like, oh, like yeah, you could be like Metallica. You'd be like, yeah, but I don't like that shit. It's like this is what I love, so this is what I do.
That love of continuing to do it, how big of a motivating factor is it to push you through camps and through those days when you wake up sore?
I mean, I think of it this way: is like just for reference, I just got done fixing up this house I bought and flipping it, and doing all this stuff. No matter how tired I was, and I trained all day. I mean, I would work all day, then I would go train, and then I would get back from training and get cleaned up and eat my little dinner, and then I would work till like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would be doing that damn near every day, and it's to me, it's just something that needs to be done. Like I don't look at it as I just get up and I just know I have to do shit. I just do it. I don't see things as like yeah, times are tough or whatever. But for me, the biggest thing is always just like not being able to eat the stuff you want to eat because you're having a stressful day. You can't go have a beer. You can't. I mean, you could, but you it's gonna make things really hard. So yeah, that's the biggest thing for me is just like is knowing like I try to stay focused on my eyes on the prize, put the blinders on and just put my head down and work, you know what I mean?
Definitely. One last thing I wanted to touch on about you as a martial artist. 20 fights in, do you feel like you've got a grasp on your style, on what the Caleb Ramirez style is? Because everybody has their own martial art style, their own style of fighting.
Well, I know I do because I keep hearing it from the people that I spar with, from the people that have watched me fight, and they're just like, I am absolutely unpredictable. Like to not to the point where you're like, oh, he's a wild card and he's just whatever. It's like no, it's like my style is very. I've heard like Clay Guida kind of style, like very bouncy. But the thing is, I would like to say that I have my style like kind of locked in, so to speak. But I would always love to be like George St. Pierre, which was a guy who continued, no matter how, even now. He's like, oh, I try him now. I'm trying this. I'm doing this different. I'm doing gymnastics. I'm doing whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like I like to keep that mentality of thinking that I need to continue to progress. And yeah, I think I got it down for now, but I hope to just get better and even continue to make my style even more sharp, more unpredictable, more powerful, all those good things. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, I feel like I got it locked in pretty good.
Bellator 277. We've seen you put on some fight of the night kind of performances. What kind of show do you think you're going to put on this big stage?
A very dominating one. This guy is going to feel all 20 of those fights in front of him. And I'm going to test myself and I'm going to test him and see what he can handle because I know what I can handle. Like I've had my ass kicked. I've been knocked out once. I've never been TKO'd. I've never quit. I've been submitted. All these things have happened and it put me through all these experiences to stand in front of this person and put that on the table. And I'm going to test it, and I'm going to finish it. I guarantee that. Like this, however it goes, I would love to finish him in any way possible, obviously, but I will finish this guy, and I feel like when we go to the ground, like I said, he's gonna want to try to hold me down. I got some pretty badass wrestlers to try to do the same thing here. You know what I'm saying? So, and but as soon as they give me an inch, I'm crawling up their back and I'm fucking wrapping them up. So I guarantee you this fight is going to be extremely exciting. It will be one of the best fights of the night, even main card, whatever. I'm going to go out there and lay it down, and I'm going to put on a very exciting and fun show for everybody and for myself.
This man is always awesome. It's always great to get to talk to you. And just from listening to him, everybody, you can tell why his company that you should check out is called Man Shit. Caleb Ramirez, it's always great getting to talk to you, buddy.
Yeah, likewise, brother.